Here are 10 easy steps that you can take to protect your smart home from hacks like these ones.
This morning, two families say their Ring camera systems were hacked.
They started to say my name and your name.
A voice began speaking from a camera in the kitchen.
A stranger hacked into the Ring camera in this couple's bedroom.
They started talking through the doorbell. Come back inside. Where are you?
Okay, if my family saw those clips and had no idea what the context was, they would probably throw away their smart home devices like right now. Now, I love my smart products, but I am a firm believer in making educated and smart buying choices when it comes to my tech. So how do you delve into smart homes without sacrificing your security? Now, whether you're just getting started with connected tech or you have already got a smart home, these tips should help you better protect your own network as well as the devices already on your Wi-Fi. This video is sponsored by Delete Me, so stick around for a really great discount and find out how you can scrub your data from the internet the easy way. Number 1, research what you and your family actually need versus what a device can offer. For example, you may be totally cool with purchasing a baby monitor for a kid's nursery, but you should run that past your significant other before buying one. Some baby monitors include applications for phones, audio, as well as video recording and cloud backups. Is that something that you would want? For the privacy conscious, the idea of having a video backup online also means that could be a major risk to your privacy. Do those devices have physical mutes or video shades to offer privacy? Are there options to store videos locally and not upload them to the cloud? Can you use these devices without connecting them to the internet? Figuring out the answers to these questions is the basis of having a secure while convenient smart home. And sometimes the most heavily advertised products might not fit your lifestyle and they might not be secure. Number 2, before you even buy any new gadgets for your home, you should look into your own home network and make sure that it is secure. Now, I would love to share a full video about home network security, so comment if you would like that, but for now, here are some basic tips. First, you can simply use Google to find out how to log into your home Wi-Fi and the network from your ISP. That could be Comcast, CenturyLink, Verizon, whoever feeds your home internet. If your ISP gave you a modem, you should have an admin panel that you can log into to make sure the box is up to date and to make any necessary changes, like updating your password. If you leave your username as admin and you never change a password that is stamped onto the side of the box, that means that anybody could potentially gain access to it. You can do the same thing with your Wi-Fi router if it's separate. Log into the admin panel for your Wi-Fi router and make sure that you have changed any default passwords or administrator usernames, and make sure your Wi-Fi accounts are password protected. Those are the Wi-Fi networks you see that pop up on your phone whenever you turn on Wi-Fi. Now, why do we do this? Well, it's super simple for an attacker to find an insecure Wi-Fi account and connect to it if there is no password. Whenever an attacker does this, they may be able to track and see other devices connected to that same Wi-Fi network, including your smart home devices and your own phone. Sometimes companies will patch these modems and routers with security updates, just like how your phone updates, so checking in the admin panels from time to time to apply those updates or even set up auto updates if you want to is an important step. Now, this episode and the next one that I will be posting kind of work hand in hand, so make sure to subscribe and watch that one next. Number 3, if you have really old Wi-Fi routers or you have noticed the internet speeds tend to be incredibly slow, you may want to consider upgrading to a newer device. Not only can this better protect you, especially if the older device no longer gets updates, but it can also improve your lifestyle with better internet connections. At time of recording, Wi-Fi 7 is the newest of the new, the thing that you can actually start finding in consumer gadgets. But I have Wi-Fi 6 routers, and they are crazy fast and consistently receive updates from the manufacturer. Number 4, if you choose to buy into an ecosystem of devices from one brand, that can save you a lot of hassle having to set up new applications and a new account every single time you buy a new one. So take lighting, for example. There are tons of different brands to choose from, but if you find one of those brands that fits your lifestyle better than another, you could just choose that one ecosystem over the other one. Now, I really like my Govee lights, so I only have one app to control all the smart lights in my household. However, my older Philips Hues, which I've had for years, require a different app to be installed. So that's 2 different management apps and 2 different places where I have to check for firmware updates and do anything anything important. I do highly recommend using a password manager here so that you can set up any new smart home device apps with new passwords. That ensures that if any of your old passwords gets hacked, you aren't reusing them for your smart home management. If you did and somebody got access by just logging in, well, they could see your camera feed, they could change your lights or turn on a device while you aren't home. They could open your garage door. The list goes on. Using a unique password, and if you can, number 5, use a YubiKey or a 2FA app to add an additional layer of protection to those accounts really helps. Now, unfortunately, a lot of smart home devices do not offer MFA or 2FA support for their applications. If they do and you turn that on, that means an attacker would need your username, your password, and a random 6-digit code anytime they want to sign into your account, or they would need a physical YubiKey to log in. Now, if that code is only sent to your phone, then they would need your phone to get that code. The notable hubs for smart homes, like Apple's HomeKit, Google's Home, or Amazon Echo's Alexa, they do support MFA, so ensure that MFA is enabled for these at least. Now, here's a step that you can take online to protect your data, because you can protect your smart home all day long, but if your data is already online, it's easy for anybody to find it. Data broker websites make our data easily searchable and publicly available. And that's all sorts of data, like your full name, your home address, your phone number, email address, and a lot more. Now, yes, you can totally go to each and every single one of those data broker sites one by one. You can find your data, you can request that they remove it, but that could take days every single month to do because there are so many data brokers out there. So I signed up for Delete Me many years ago as a paid customer, and they take the hassle and the stress off of my shoulders. Delete Me sends those opt-outs, so I never have to, by searching all of those data broker websites and sending them all those manual opt-out requests. Even though several of my friends who work in cybersecurity, they recommended Delete Me to myself many years ago, and they still do, I realized that you might be a little bit sus about trusting a company to do this work for you. Delete Me does take a very strong approach to data security as well, with regulatory compliance, internal and external auditing. They have MFA for your account and security awareness training for their own employees. Now, when it comes to threat monitoring, Delete Me monitors their network traffic 24/7 for any kind of anomalies. They also encrypt personal information both in transit and at rest. And if you are skeptical, you can always reach out to Delete Me directly with your own security questions. So if you are ready to take that step and take control over your online data, especially like your phone number and your home address, check out joindeleteme.com/morsecode. That's joindeleteme.com/morsecode to get 20% off any of their consumer plans with the coupon code SNUBS. That's SNUB as a boy S, which will automatically apply at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/morsecode and 20% off with my coupon code SNUBS. And thank you so much to Delete Me for sponsoring this episode. Number 6, and now we get into the more technical side of things. Now, if you watched my video about how I set up my own home network, it's a Ubiquiti network, you will know that I have several separate networks, and each one of those is designated for a certain kind of usage. For example, I have a guest network that is password protected. Guests have to sign into it. I have a work network for mine and my husband's work computers, and then I have a smart home network. The smart home network is the Wi-Fi network where all those smart home devices are connected, including like my Philips Hues. My Ubiquiti gear allows me to set up a firewall in between each of those networks. So the devices on network A don't even know that the ones on network B exist. Most Wi-Fi routers will allow you to create multiple Wi-Fi networks, but they may have limitations on what kind of security you can set up to keep those separate. Prosumer and small business Wi-Fi routers usually allow for more customization in this way, which is a main reason I went with Ubiquiti. But just doing the simple task of separating your devices onto different networks can also have a positive effect on your bandwidth for streaming or regular work. Now, if any of your smart home devices did get hacked, hopefully it never happens, but it could, then this is a good step to keep that hack from spreading to your most important devices. And we're on to number 7, which is monitoring client activity. Now, this is another technical tip. In your Wi-Fi router admin panel, you should see a tab or a page that lists all the products that are connected to your Wi-Fi router. These are sometimes called users or clients or devices, but they all mean the same thing. Devices on your network usually broadcast a name to the router, so your router can list what they are. Phones are really good about this, but sometimes devices do not have obvious names. If you do see something that you don't recognize, you can try to blacklist or ban that device from connecting, but be very cautious about this though, and copy the name of any devices that you don't recognize and just Google search it. It may be a product that you had forgot you had connected to in the past. Number 8, let's go back to your smart home wish list. Now, once you find a device that fits your lifestyle and your needs, start researching whether or not it ships with enhanced privacy features. I had mentioned physical mute and camera shutters previously, but you can also look for devices that allow you to change the default username and password. That should be like the basic of the basic, that have a multi-factor authentication option, and products that have been audited or frequently pass security inspections. One easy way to find out how trustworthy a company can be is just by Googling the brand plus a phrase like hacked, vulnerability, breach, ransomware, malware, privacy. You could even search online to see if they had been through any kind of third-party audits and by whom. What number are we on? Number 9, be wary of remote access options. Now, oftentimes you can remotely access your smart home gadgets while you're traveling, and for example, you might want to check your front door camera while you're on a hotel's open Wi-Fi. Now, for some products, it makes sense that you might want to connect to them while you're traveling, but is remote access something that you can disable if you don't use it? If it's not, then make sure that you are using a VPN to access your smart devices from other Wi-Fi networks, as you don't want anybody else snooping on that connection and seeing your cameras while you are watching them on that hotel Wi-Fi. Better yet, just don't connect to any open Wi-Fi networks that anybody else could connect to. Just choose to use your carrier's data plan instead if that's an affordable option for you. Number 10, lastly, if you do buy any smart home products used or you intend to resell your own used gadgets, make sure that you factory wipe them or reset them to factory settings and remove those products from the phone app before they make their way to a new owner. This way you are not running the risk of the new owner seeing your private information. So the crucially important point with smart home tech is this: you are inviting a new device into your home and you are allowing it to connect to your Wi-Fi network. There is going to be an inherent risk associated with that. The more devices we own that are connected, the more potential attack vectors exist. Now, the US government is trying to enact a cyber trust mark, like a badge of sorts that can be used to identify more secure products on the very packaging that they come in, but that's not yet implemented. But even with a badge, it is still up to us to keep our system secure after purchase. Watch these videos next to get more secure, and I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.